Hi YouTube, it's Gwen. I'm back. Long time no video. And so this is an update, and I just wanted to let you all know that the top part of my locks that I redid because I felt like they were too big, actually made a full year on April 6th. So yeah, that's when I split the big ones apart, which I felt were too big, split them apart and made them smaller. And so they actually are a year now. And you can see the difference in size. They originally were more like this in this size, and now they're more, you can see they're smaller. And so, yeah, and I have some bigger ones over here too. So the bottom is bigger and the top is smaller. I call these the remixes, and these are the originals, and together they're music. And so that's the first update. And so what did I learn over these last few months since the last update? There's two types of buildup. You can get buildup from products that kind of, it comes from gels and oils and things that you may put in your hair. I have personally experienced more of an organic, like self-made buildup. My scalp, I have seborrheic dermatitis, and what that is where a fungus or a mite feeds off the oil that my scalp produces, the sebum. And so it causes itching and scaling, and that's not a good look. But typically it's pretty much under control. There are times when my hair, for whatever reason, produces more oil and the mites love it, or fungus, they love it. And so they just go to town. And when it's under a lock, like at the base, and I really can't get to it, that creates a problem, because it will turn actually these two locks right here, they're not white now. I was able to get the buildup out, the flakes out, but they turned white. And my husband was like, you got two white locks, right? And so I saw that. I was like, what is going on? Because I do not put anything in my locks except water and oil and shampoo. That's it. I don't put gels in, anything sticky, honey, none of wax. I don't put any of that in my locks. To me, it attracts lint, and it causes the kind of buildup that you introduce to your hair. So I don't use anything in my locks except water, oil, and shampoo. That's it, which has pretty much been a success. I haven't had any problems as far as buildup, except for, like I said, the self-induced or my own body's type of buildup from dry scalp that's flaking and peeling. So other than that, I've had zero problems with buildup of any kind. So I'm thankful for that. And so once I noticed that, I started doing something new. Water rinses. I didn't necessarily put any oil or conditioner or shampoo in my hair. Well, maybe I put a little oil. I think I did put some olive oil, which is one of my favorite oils for my locks, well, for my natural hair, period. And so I put just a small amount of olive oil, ran it through the ends throughout the locks, and then rinsed it with warm, not hot, warm water. And then, just took it from there as far as maybe like a light conditioner wash. And so, and then I just kind of unraveled these locks and picked them apart, like got out all the buildup just by flicking it with my finger, with the nail of my thumb. So that got it out. And that's the only two he noticed. And so that's why I check in your locks daily or almost daily is very important, because you get to see if something's in your lock, if you're having a problem, you know. And so that particular day I didn't, but my husband did catch it. But I was able to get my little handy dandy mirror and get, you know, behind and see if any more were built up. And so it was just that too. And usually the crown of my head is my most problematic area anyway. And so that water rinsing, that's something I learned. Now, the downside to water rinsing is that it makes your roots so bushy. I mean, my roots are so bushy. I have this headband on because I do need a retwist. And so my roots are so bushy. Like, they're so full, they're so bushy. And I guess that's not really a downside to locks, because you do want bushy roots. But I also noticed, like, with the smaller ones, it made them kind of, well, certain ones, I guess, kind of hang on by, the base of the lock was bigger than the actual lock. It wasn't really supporting the lock. And I actually took 2 locks out right here at the temple area because they were just barely hanging on by literal strands of hair. And so, but that's not the case with all of them, because you can clearly see this lock is well supported. It has a huge base. The problem with these locks here, and you want to be aware of this hair here in my temple area does not grow into my locks. It grows out, which weakens the base of the lock. So you want to pay attention to your locks for that. Hair at the base that grows into the lock or out of the lock. Pay close attention to that, because it can very much affect your locks. With these locks where the hair grows out of the lock, you have to retwist more often, 2 weeks. You cannot go long periods of time with locks that the hair does not grow into without retwisting, because it has a weak base. It's just gonna dangle and hang, and it could break off. And so that's the issue with that. And so they do require more frequent retwists. Now, the longer you can go without a retwist, I try to go at least 2 months. I'm going on about 3 months now with this particular situation. It's been almost 3 months since I've had a retwist. So if you want to go that long, be aware of hair that does not grow into the lock, because those locks will have to be retwisted at least every 2 weeks, no more than a month, because they just need that support from the base of the lock to last and to hang on and to be a nice, thick, healthy lock. They need that retwisting often. And so that is my update. I'm super duper proud of myself, because I actually had these locks in for 1.5 years. Although these locks just made a year, it's been 1.5 years since the locks, grew. I formed them, they grew out. And I'll try to insert a picture of where I started and where I am now, because clearly, my locks have grown. And I'm just excited about that. I'm excited about it. And so, yeah, it's a pretty easy journey. The biggest part is like when you get ready to retwist, detangling and making sure you still have your parts. So, that's something that you have to keep up with, and the longer you wait for retwist, the more hair you have to detangle. And how I actually combated that was by, after each wash or wetting my hair, water wash it, I would go through and separate the locks to help keep them separate, so there's not as much detangling. And it actually has worked, because if you can, well, I can't do it now, but if you can run your fingers through your locks and pretty much, I have a tangle here, and not get your fingers caught, then your hair is pretty well detangled as far as going for longer without a retwist. I have some snarls that I have to go through and take apart, but for the most part, it's pretty good. So you should be able to kind of just go through your locks with your fingers like this. And if you feel any snarls, you kind of need to go there and just kind of separate. So that'll help you between washes. So that is my update. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. See you in the next video. Bye.